Hello, it's Kai here from Family Wheels, and behold, the second generation, the freshly redesigned Range Rover Evoque for 2020. I'm not really bothered if I drive it or not, to be honest. I mean, not really fussed. Kidding. Obviously, if someone says to you, here, take this Range Rover for a test drive and give it a review, you say yes immediately. But let's take a bit of a look at the outside redesign before we get to what I believe is the absolute star of the show. Everyone I've shown this car to, there's this particular thing where they've gone, wow. But on the outside, it's not a revolution in terms of the redesign of it, because it's been a model that's done very, very well for Range Rover. They have sold over 750,000 Evoques around the world, so they haven't messed with it too much, but it definitely falls into line with the rest of the design language from Range Rover and also from Land Rover. So you're going to see some similarities in the Range Rover Velar, but also the Land Rover Discovery Sport, which this actually shares a platform with both of those. So on the front, the brand new LED headlamps look amazing. The tail lamps look significantly different, but also still very familiar. And side profile, it's still got that angled belt line going through it, so it is still instantly recognizable as an Evoque, but it's certainly got a very nice refresh, which it needed, because I mean, the first generation has been around now since 2011. Time has gone really fast. Brand new rims, standard is 18-inch. These are the 20-inch, and still give a very quiet ride. It is a quiet, smooth, and comfortable ride in this car, even with those 20-inch rims with a bit of a lower profile rubber on it too. But let's pop inside for a second for what I believe is the absolute star of the show. And it is this. It is the Touch Pro Duo screens, two 10-inch screens, which absolutely steal the show. Everyone who's jumped in this car has just gone, wow. It's awesome. So before you had a touch screen and the infotainment screen up top. So there's a newer one, it's bigger, it's wider. The top one takes care of your navigation, your phone, your Bluetooth connectivity, your media, also your cameras. The camera system we'll get to in a second. There is cameras everywhere on this thing. It's amazing. And also your parking assist. And then down the bottom, you've got another 10-inch screen, which sits a lot deeper. And that's got your climate control, which is all touch. Then you've got your seats, which is obviously heated, but also this one, there's an option in this. This is a $1,300 option. This has got massage seats. Yeah, massage. I'm going to show you. Ready? So I hit this, hit that. Oh yeah. You can get a massage while you're driving. And the passengers got one. It's incredible. $1,300, but whew, nice. And then across on the side here, you've got your vehicle settings. So this will be familiar for anyone who's had a Range Rover or been in one, or even Land Rover. You've got Eco, Comfort, and then you've got some serious off-road capabilities. So you have the grass, gravel, and snow, you've got mud ruts, and you have sand. All three are awesome, but I'm just not sure that anyone who's buying this car is ever going to use it. Are you going to buy this car and take it off-road and really risk having some stone chips? Probably not, but if you want to, you can do it pretty well. Engine size and specifications are very similar for the second generation as well. So you still have the 4-cylinder 2-litre turbocharged engine, but for a base you are putting out 246 horsepower. That's an increase of 6 horsepower, which is plenty for a car of this size. And then this one, this is the P300, the R Dynamic, which has the 4-cylinder 2-litre turbocharged engine putting out 296 horsepower. And interestingly, it has its highest range of torque, so it's about 295 pound-feet of torque, and that's available at just 1,500 RPM. So this car gets you off the line really comfortably, very efficiently. You don't have to give it much at all, and it gets you underway. And that really does stop you from putting your foot to the floor, which I would have been doing, especially in things like the BMW X1, which I drove just last week. I always wanted to get more out of it, and its torque and its power band was a lot higher, so you're always putting your foot to the floor. This one, not so much. It just gets underway really easily. But that was a main difference in this to the BMW X1, which would be one of its big competitors. This feels bigger, it feels bulkier, it feels a little bit heavier, it feels more plush and luxurious and laid back. But if you're in an inner metro area, I've kind of preferred the X1, just how it felt a bit more nimble to get in and out of traffic, whereas just this feels more like a very compact Range Rover. It never feels like it's in too much of a hurry. It feels very comfortable. It's like you don't care about the rest of the world because you're driving yourself a Range Rover and it's a luxury vehicle and you're important. Both engine specs have the 9-speed automatic transmission, and all-wheel drive, of course, on the Range Rover is standard. Let's just test acceleration takeoff here for just 1 second. So it's in comfort mode, but if you slide it across, that's in sport. I'm going to use the paddles here, check that we're good. Yeah, down low torque, doesn't rev too high. But yeah, certainly motors along, no problems whatsoever. For a compact SUV, you don't need any more. Okay, how much is the second generation Range Rover Evoque gonna cost you? Well, as a base, the starting point in Canada is $47,950, and that goes right up to the first edition. Now, the first edition is available for just the very first year of release of the second generation. That just has the P250 engine, so that's just the 246 horsepower, but you get more in the trim. So that goes for $61,500, and the R Dynamic starts at $53,500. But that's what this one is. This is the R Dynamic, but this has the HSE trim, which starts at $61,500. I think I'd rather go the same price point as the first edition, but you're getting more power. And in the States, starts at $42,650. The middle one, the R Dynamic, $46,600, and then the first edition top trim, $56,850. But then remember, this is Range Rover, so you can option this to the hill if you want. This car has got about $9,700 worth of options for a selling price of $72,900. So this is an expensive car, especially when you think that you can actually start having a Range Rover at just $47,950 in Canada, or $42,500 in the States. Check out the cameras available on this. So you've obviously got your parking ones, you've got this split camera which will show you each side of the car. You've also got the 360 from above, you can see all around it. And then you have the one which is for off-road. So when you are doing if you're doing some serious off-road work, you can actually see underneath whether you've got rocks under there, whether if there's something that's going to inhibit your progress forward if you're in some seriously difficult terrain. I don't think you got to use it, but it's something, well, because I don't think you're taking this car off-road, but it's pretty cool to show your friends. Also, as part of the redesign, the wheelbase got slightly longer, which gets you an extra 21 centimeters of rear passenger legroom, which is well needed because this one is still tight. The rear passengers have got a bit of room, and with our famous standardized test of the rear-facing kids seat using the world's chunkiest kids seat, the Collect Flow, it is pretty tight. There's no knees on glove box up here, but it's still pretty tight. And if you've got someone tall in the front, an average size human in the back, then you're not going to be left with a lot of room in the back. Another thing with getting kids in and out of the rear is that the door arches are not big, they're not very wide, so sometimes it can be pretty tight when you're getting the kids in there but also strapping them in. The trunk space also increases by about 6%, so you've got about 610 litres of trunk space, or just over 21 cubic feet of storage, which is good. It's not massive. It passes our standardized test of the stroller, 2 shopping bags, camera bag, diaper bag, and the soccer ball, but there's not a lot of room left over. If you want to take this thing camping and utilize some of those off-road capabilities, you might want to chuck a storage box on the top or something. The digital dash, 12-inch digital dash, which looks gorgeous, totally customizable. But up top here, have a look at this. Because you've kind of got a lot of blind spots in the back, those pillars back there are reasonably big and the rear window isn't massive. You've got this rear vision camera which sits here where your mirror is. You can also, if you want to, just hit this little lever and it will work as just a regular mirror, but man, woo, it is crisp and it looks amazing. It can get a little bit deceiving. I don't like it when, if you are reversing, you tend to sort of look at that, which is very deceiving because it looks way closer than what you actually are because the camera sits on top of the car at the back. With all that tech, those 10-inch, beautiful, gorgeous, high-resolution screens, which does everything seamlessly and beautifully, with all that stuff and the digital dash and the rear vision camera, they've still got a volume knob. Bravo. Oh, and the Meridian sound system, which sounds amazing. This panorama sunroof is another star of the show. It goes from above the driver all the way to back behind the second row passenger, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It lets in a ton of natural light. So I can tell you what I think of this car till the cows come home, but when you're looking for a brand new car, this is family wheels, so you're always going to take into account the opinion of a significant other. So with that in mind, what does my wife think? All right, 2 things you like about this car.
I like the interior. It's very luxurious. Everything's clean lines. The screens are really nice and easy to use. And I like this camera up here. I really like the safety feature on the doors, where it'll tell you if there's a bike or something there before you open the door.
What don't you like?
It has all the bells and whistles of a Range Rover, but I think it's shrunk too far. It's too close. Everything's too close for me. One of the things that I like about the Range Rover is that it feels spacious, and this one doesn't.
One thing you're going to have to consider being a luxury vehicle, A, you're going to be paying for premium gas, which is not too rare these days. Obviously, servicing and maintenance is going to be a little bit more as well, but also the depreciation on some of these cars has been quite big. So I actually had a look online and pretty quickly found a 2015 model Evoque, first generation obviously, and it had done less than 100,000 Ks, and it was $25,500. So, I mean, that's pretty much half the value of the car in about 4 years. So that's something, I mean, if you love this type of thing, you might be taking a bit of a hit on the resale. So that's the second generation Range Rover Evoque, brand new for 2020. If you found this review useful, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to Family Wheels so you can catch all of our reviews when they come out every single week. Hit that bell so you know when exactly that happens. And we also do a 2-minute review of all our cars each week as well. Until next time, from Family Wheels, I'm Kai.